Hi everybody, welcome back to musicmoose.org. In this segment, before we move on to the 8th of January, a fiddle tune that we're going to adapt to play on the 5-string banjo, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this major scale, this G major scale that we've been working on, and playing styles of the banjo itself on the 5-string banjo. Now, when we started out all these lessons, we were playing in the Scruggs style, okay, in the style of Earl Scruggs, who developed this 3-finger style of playing with the rolls, okay. And you remember those rolls? We were going over the motions of our right hand and associating these different rolls, the forward, backward roll, and all the other rolls with the motion of our right hand, okay. Now, when this style was being when the whole style was being developed, it wasn't a scale associated with scales. Okay, this do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That style of playing is not really associated with the the scales in music. Now we can adapt that 3-finger style and play around notes when we're playing these bluegrass songs and tunes, playing around the melody notes using these rolls. But after a while, a couple of guys came up with a style of playing, actually picking out the scales on the banjo, okay. And as far as I know, those two guys were Bill Keith and Bobby Thompson, and they developed this style around the same time. And what they did was played the notes of the scale, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do that we just went over. And you remember we played that G major scale just picking it on the 1st string, or on the 3rd string. Okay. But what they did and came up with the system of playing the scale something like this. Okay, now they call that the melodic style, or I just like to call it the Keith Thompson style, because again, the way I think about playing melodically is more of an approach instead of a style. But again, and using this way of picking the scale was alternating between the strings, okay. And I'm not really even going to explain right now what I'm doing with my right hand. Okay, but you can hear that scale. G scale that I just played on the 3rd string alone within this approach, this Keith approach of playing that same G major scale. Okay. And that's the approach I'm going to use on the next tune that I'm going to be teaching you, the 8th of January. And there are many different ways that we can play this major scale, major scales in generally, or any kind of scales, okay. We can take the Keith style, we can take single string style, and I'll play the same scale again in a single string style. Now, there's so much involved with how we can approach using these different scales, and I'm going to be getting into many different ways that we can pick out different scales in different ways on the fingerboard that's going to create totally different sounds one way or the other. Maybe picking in the Keith style in different ways can make the banjo sound almost like a piano. And then other times, maybe picking single string, we can make the banjo sound like a guitar almost. And so many different things we can do. We can break, here's the same scale, just played in a different position in a keyed style. And you can see that we're keeping our hand within the portion of the neck of the banjo. And we can break these things up many different ways using a combination of Scruggs, single string, and keyed style, melodic style, to really create so many different expressions and ways of thinking about the banjo fretboard, the banjo fingerboard. And we're going to get into all of these styles and mix them all up, so it gives you the opportunity to play again how you want to play. I'm gonna be showing you ways that I maybe think about the banjo fingerboard in these different ways that you can approach the fingerboard on your own. I'm not saying that my way is going to be the best way. Everybody has their own way of thinking about the fretboard, okay? And again, I can give you my ideas and other people's approach, so you can find the best way that you would like to think about these scales and these different styles and expressing yourself on the 5-string banjo. So we're going to keep it going, everyone, and we're going to get into the 8th of January, a cool little fiddle tune here in the next segment. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on musicmoose.org.